I stand underneath the Saturn IB launch vehicle. This vehicle, developed by the Marshall Space Flight Center, Huntsville, Alabama, and associated contractors, erected by the citizens of Alabama as a tribute to the men and women who made it possible for the nation to explore space for peaceful purposes throughout the cooperation of National Aerodynamics and Space Administration, NASA's Marshall Space Lift Center, Alabama Space and Rocket Center, the state of Alabama, in July of 1979. Now, I'll tell you, for those of you that don't know, that is a year after Miss Shannon was born. Do the math on that. I stand behind a rocket that says the United States. Now, I am in trees, so I shall move for you guys to get the very full picture of what I am looking at. Oh, I think I'm still under some trees. Let me move again, kids. Sorry. I know. There you go. That, my friends, is a United States space rocket. Visibly here for you to see as you cross over into the sweet state of Alabama. Now, reading a book is important. I do have a book, but I really want to read you guys some information over here. Imagine this big, huge, I mean, look how big that is. Let's just, I mean, I'm going to tell you. Miss Shannon is big, but those little things right there where the fire comes out, those things are like two sizes of me. I mean, just to kind of put you in mind with what happens here. But there's another thing over here that I really wanted to read you guys. So there's the rocket. Again, these NASA information. And I apologize, I'm a little shaky. I'm holding my books under my wings, kids. Anyways. All right. So they give information right here in regards to the De Soto Trail. And I kind of thought, instead of reading a book, let's read about this, because this is great information. It is history, so maybe you guys will learn this in a history class down the road. But I figured instead of us just reading a regular book like we normally do when I stop, let's read the information about the area that we're in. So let's look at the highway route. The highway route of the De Soto Trail is intended to follow the actual trail as closely as major highways permit. These highways are US 278 from Georgia Line to Piedmont, Alabama, Alabama 21 to Winterboro, Alabama 76 to Childebergs, US 231 to Montgomery, US 80 to Uniontown, Alabama 61 to Greensboro, 69 to Tuscaloosa, US 82 to Mississippi. Now, they give you, because who knows what all of those meant? Not us. We live in the state of Illinois. So it gives you an outline of where they're talking about this going. Okay? You guys get that? Alright. So, then they talk about this fortified village. I'm going to kind of go this way. That looks like a village. Looks like the main camp and then small tents around. Definitely looks like an entry with the armed guards. Looks like there's some armed people over there. So it says, Hernando de Soto brought his 700 men army to Alabama in the fall of 1540. This was the first major, sorry guys, I'm trying to move these books I've been holding on to because I really thought I was going to read to you, but this is better. In Alabama in the fall of 1540. This was the first major European expedition in the interior of the southeastern United States. The De Soto expedition had launched at Tampa Bay, Florida in the spring of 1539, 47 years after Columbus discovered America. Think about that. 47 years after Columbus discovered America. They traveled through parts of Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas before abandoning their goal to find riches and leaving for Mexico in 1543. Archaeologists believe that they know the general route that De Soto followed and are trying to locate the specific towns he visited in order to verify their theories. The expedition spent several months in Alabama, entering the state in the northeast near Piedmont and traveling down the Cosa River Valley to Montgomery, and then west and north to leave the state by crossing the Tombigbee River near Columbus, Mississippi. Now in Alabama, at the site probably near the present day of Montgomery. So it wasn't named Montgomery back then. In Alabama, around the area of where we currently know it as Montgomery, De Soto met the great Indian chief, Tuscaloosa. The chief, respectful of the harsh Spanish treatment of the Indians, promised to De Soto supplies and bears at one of his small towns, Mabila. I might have pronounced that wrong, and that's okay. But there on October 18th, 1540, De Soto and his advance party were ambushed by Tuscaloosa after they entered the town. So De Soto called up the main body of his troops and found an all-day battle. More than 20 Spaniards and 2,500 Indians were killed in what has been called the greatest Indian battle ever fought in America. Although the Spaniards prevailed, this balance was the turning point for the expedition. De Soto discovered no gold or silver at an unsuccessful exploration had now turned into a near defeat with major casualties. Oh man, that sounds horrible. So they thought they were going to get some gold or silver, and actually what they got was a defeat almost, with tons of people that got killed. That's what casualties mean. So the expedition continually slowed on toward the Mississippi. The next 3 years would see the discovery of the Mississippi River and the death of the De Soto from fever, and the eventually retreat of some of 300 survivors of Mexico. The De Soto expedition was of the great historical importance. The four principals accounts of the expedition gives us some of our best insights into the way of life and the customs of the Indians of the Southwest before the impact of European civilization. So instead of reading a book, we actually physically got to see hands-on a spaceship from the United States that was flown. We learned about De Soto's trail, which in common day, what we say, that's where Montgomery is, right? Right. And then we also saw the route that they took. If you remember, this is their route. Starting, I don't know if they started on one point or went to the other. Now on the other side of this, and I'm almost done, kids. I know you guys don't want to read about. They have, and it's kind of reflected because it's starting to get a little dark. But they have the De Soto's Trail. Okay, so we kind of talked about that. So the route of the Hernando and the De Soto expedition, 1539 to 43, Charles Hudson and Associates, 27th of July in 1988. So to get a better picture, all of this was part of that trail. Do you see? I'm still following the trail. So this is all part of that trail. And if you think about it, back in that day, Did they hop in their cars and make trips around the world? No, I don't think so. I mean, if you see, you've got people here. I don't even think that I don't know if they used horse and buggy at that point. We'd have to look it up. But they also give some key dates. In 1492, Columbus visits the Caribbean islands. In 1519, Penda visits Mobile area. Probably mispronounced that one, and that's okay. In 1528, Narvaez reached Mobile area. In 1540, DeSoto explores Alabama. 1559, De Luna retraces DeSoto's route in Alabama. And in 1702, the French established the first permanent colony as Dupin Island. Now, today, 450 years of searching the exact route of Hernando de Soto